The hall was silent, thick with tension. Flags of two nations barely moved in the still air. Jasmine Crockett adjusted her mic. Ibrahim Traore sat across from her, firm-jawed, unreadable. Journalists leaned forward, sensing something rare. Crockett took a breath, deep, steady, weighted with history. "Mr. President," she began, voice unwavering, "before I speak as a lawmaker, I must speak as a daughter." A flicker of curiosity passed across Traoré's face. A daughter of enslaved ancestors, a child of stolen dreams. The room tightened, the air felt charged. "I come from a people taught to shrink," she continued, "to whisper when they should have shouted, to serve when they should have ruled." She looked directly into his eyes. "But we survived. Oh, we survived." Traoré sat up straighter, arms folded. "You lead a proud revolution," she said, "but I carry a revolution in my blood." Gasps from the crowd, flashes from cameras. "My great-grandfather never had a courtroom," she said. "He had cotton fields, chains, no due process. My grandmother couldn't vote, Mr. President, but now I write the laws." Her voice cracked, not from weakness, but memory. "I've seen police lights feel like war zones. I've buried classmates before I graduated. I've cried behind closed doors, then stood tall before Congress, because my people couldn't afford for me to fail." Traoré's hands tightened on the table. "You talk of imperialism," she said, "and I agree. But in America, our colonizers still wear badges." A stir among international diplomats. "Our bodies are debated like property," she said, "even in the land of the free. Do you know what it means to walk into courtrooms already guilty? To need 3 degrees just to be called equal? To smile when insulted because anger gets you fired? I do, every single day." Her voice rose. "But we don't break. We build, we write legislation while grieving. We testify with scars. We raise our children while defending our dignity. We love a country that didn't love us back. Yet still we stay, still we fight." Traoré's stare softened. "I've heard your speeches," she said. "Your people stand for sovereignty, power, justice. But justice isn't just national, it's human. And we too deserve to breathe fully." The crowd was frozen. No coughs, no whispers. "You want to end neocolonialism?" she asked. "Then lift black voices without borders. Stand with us when we march, not just when we're silent. Freedom isn't a flag, it's a flame. And mine burns because of generations who kept it alive in the dark." A tear shimmered in her eye, not falling. "Mr. President, I respect your courage, but I want you to understand our pain is global. Your land was colonized by the French. Mine was colonized by fear. Fear of my hair, my tone, my truth. So I no longer apologize for speaking it." Traoré leaned in, eyes narrowing, not in defiance, but focus. "My law degree didn't protect me from profiling. My title didn't stop them from following me in stores. But my voice, this voice, is unshackled. It echoes ancestors who hummed in fields, who danced in secret, who plotted revolts. Their spirits fill my lungs when I speak. Their courage is my compass. So I stand here not as one, but as thousands. Every lash on their backs is a word on my tongue. Every broken bone is a pillar in my spine. I am their justice, walking and breathing." The room vibrated with reverence. "Mr. Traoré," she said, "when you speak of liberation, I nod. But know this, Black Americans are still at war. A war against erasure, brutality, systemic theft. Our revolution is in courtrooms and classrooms. We don't throw grenades, we throw truth. And it shakes the very floor. We wear suits like armor. Our words, our weapons, our resilience, our strategy. Every headline you see, that's only the surface. The deeper story lives in our hearts, where history tried to break us, but failed. So I ask, not for sympathy, but solidarity. Lift us as you lift your own. We are not foreign to revolution. We were born in it, baptized in protest, schooled in injustice, sharpened by inequality, crowned by survival. And yet we smile, we lead, we dream. We still believe in tomorrow, even when today is heavy. Because hope is our inheritance. She paused. The silence was loud. And I am not done. Because until my people rest, I rise. Until our lives matter without hashtags, I speak. Until little black girls are taught they are enough, I fight. Until justice feels like air, free and flowing, I will not stop. Traoré exhaled, lips parted slightly, a flicker of awe, maybe humility. I don't need applause, she said softly. I need action. From presidents, from people, from power. Because our blood built empires. And it deserves more than just acknowledgement. The echoes of her words rippled through the diplomatic circles. African leaders, once skeptical, replayed the speech in private chambers. American youth quoted her lines on social media. Hashtags emerged. #, Voice of the Unbroken, #, Crockett Truth, #, Global Black Solidarity. Universities added her speech to civil rights curriculums. Her words were printed on posters in Soweto, Harlem, and Port-au-Prince. Activists in Brazil marched with her quotes held high. In Burkina Faso, young girls watched and whispered, "I want to be like her." Ibrahim Traore, usually fierce with rhetoric, was silent for days. When he finally spoke, it was with reverence. Crockett reminded me that revolution wears many faces, and sometimes the fiercest warrior wears no armor but her words. Back in the US, cable networks couldn't ignore it. Fox tried to twist it. MSNBC praised it. CNN replayed it hourly. But no edit could soften its force. It was raw and real. Republicans mumbled about decorum. Democrats whispered about her running for Senate. Young black girls watching with wide eyes finally saw themselves. Not just surviving, but leading. "She's our Shirley Chisholm," said one elderly voter in Georgia. "No," said her granddaughter, "she's our now." The Congressional Black Caucus released a statement. Jasmine Crockett didn't just speak. She set the world ablaze. Foreign diplomats requested meetings with her. Universities begged for commencement addresses. But Crockett didn't rush for the spotlight. She returned to her district, sat with mothers grieving lost sons, walked the streets of South Dallas. "I talk different, but I'm still your girl," she told them, and they nodded, pride rising in their chests. Meanwhile, in Ouagadougou, Traoré issued a rare public letter. "Miss Crockett reminded me that leadership without empathy is tyranny. Her pain carries the dignity of nations. Her strength, our mirror." Jasmine never replied. She didn't need to. Her message was still working, reverberating, awakening. Back at the Capitol, a colleague approached her in the hallway. "That speech, they said, changed something in me." She nodded, adjusted her files, and said calmly, "Good. Now let's go change the world." Civil rights leaders invited her to Selma. Elders passed her worn-down boots and Bibles. "Carry this now," they said. "It's your time." She held the items with trembling hands. "I will walk as you did," she whispered. At a youth rally in Ghana, students played her speech over loudspeakers, tears in their eyes, fists in the air. In Paris, activists shouted her name outside the French embassy. No more colonization, of minds or laws. In South Africa, a mural was painted, her face beside Mandela's with one word, truth. And in homes across the globe, families discussed justice, real justice, global justice. Not as theory, but necessity. The Smithsonian requested her speech script. "This belongs in history," they said. "It is history," she replied. Months later, she was invited to the UN. She wore a simple black suit, no flashy jewelry, no ego, just fire. "I am not here for applause," she said. "I am here for the unheard." And they are not just Americans. They are the colonized, the criminalized, the cast aside. They are global, and so is our fight. She received a 10-minute standing ovation, but again she didn't smile. "Save the applause," she said, "for when the work is done." A new generation of leaders was rising, inspired by truth, not titles. And Crockett? She didn't call herself a leader. "I'm just my ancestors' echo," she told one reporter. But this time, the world's listening. She wasn't chasing the White House. She was chasing justice, and it was running to meet her halfway. In Kenya, a group of schoolgirls debated law for the first time. If she can speak like that to presidents, one said, so can we. A girl in Haiti recited her speech on a rooftop with pride. A boy in Chicago printed it out and pinned it to his locker. At Morehouse College, a professor taught it beside King's letters. This one, he said, is how legacy speaks to the future. Global NGOs reached out to her for coalition work. She replied, I'll help, but I don't do photo ops, I do policy. At the Texas state capitol, her portrait was painted, not with a gavel or a flag, but with her mouth open, mid-truth. In Europe, critics called her speech disruptive. She smiled. Good, change is supposed to disrupt. On a podcast, she explained the silence from Traoré. It wasn't shame, it was respect. He listened. Burkina Faso's youth began writing letters to U.S. activists. We see you. Your struggle is ours too. She cried when she read them. This is what they feared, she whispered. Black people, talking across oceans, without borders. A filmmaker from Senegal created a short film called The Flamekeeper.